This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. Lynn Winter's joining us again. Excited today to talk more about Reiki, energy healing, all that she does. And we're going to kind of dive in a little bit further into, what it is to even be a Reiki practitioner, right? Or a Reiki master. And we'll talk more about hypnosis as well. And again, get to know her if you haven't. Kayuka Energy Arts, she is here today live. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. What is going on in your world? You're up in the Finger Lakes, right? So in the New York area. How's the weather there?
It's very beautiful and hot, but very
Oh,
beautiful.
oh my goodness. All right. Well, we're in the thick of it here too on Long Island, and summer's here. For those that may not know a little bit about your services, could you just share just a little overview about the work of hypnosis and energy healing that you do?
Sure. I am a Reiki master and I do Reiki energy work. There are lots of types of techniques in Reiki that you can do. I am a certified hypnotist and I do hypnosis that would be for cigarette control or pain management or something like that. Or I also do past life regression hypnosis, where you go into your past lives and get information that you may want, or just curiosity. I also do one on one counseling, and I'm always available for anything that would be interesting.
Got it. Well, we're excited you're here to talk more today. And we're going to dive into energy healing and really how to select a Reiki practitioner. And for those that may not even know, what is a Reiki practitioner? Thank you.
A Reiki practitioner is someone that has been trained to do Reiki. There are basically 5 levels of training, but most practitioners are level 1 and 2. Level 1 is where you learn to do Reiki on others. Excuse me, on yourself. And then Reiki 2 is where you learn to do Reiki on others. And then there are higher levels of that. And when you learn to do Reiki on 1 and 2, you can practice and work with other people and have your own business if you want to. There's not a certification for it or a license on purpose, just a training, because the person that does Reiki wants to have everyone have access to those energies if they're trained or if they need them. And so if you decide to go farther, which I did because I'm really curious in energy work, you can go through all of the levels. And at each level, you will learn hand positions. You'll learn about Reiki. You will learn how to be sensitive to it and what to do with it, how to tap into it. And then there's also practice. You'll practice on other people and they'll practice on you. And then at the end of each level, there's an attunement. And an attunement is, I would say, an energy transmission that you're a master. A master is the only one that can teach Reiki at any of those levels. A Reiki master goes through a long process, a ritual really, in the presence of all of the students in a circle with their eyes closed, and transmits a layering of energy from the realms from Reiki. And there are different levels of it. So at each level of the training, you will receive those energies and they'll go into your body and they will be there through eternity. They don't go away. You'll always have access to them, whether you decide to ever use it or not. And when you get an attunement, within about, I'm going to say 3 days to 6 months, and I've even seen people feel and experience changes within the first 24 hours. You won't be the same. It could bring up emotions that you have not healed. It could make you feel more empowered. You could feel more attracted to certain topics that you've been hibernating and not paying attention to. There are lots of different ways that Reiki can elevate you and help you move through the blocks that you might have. So when you get an attunement, you'll know that you have received an energy that starts to move other energies inside you.
Oh, well, thank you for that. And now, just curious, how did you start? Because you became a Reiki practitioner first, right? And
Yes.
what type of classes did you have to do? Is it the same that it is now? Different? How has it changed?
That's a good question. When I uh, I've always been really interested in Reiki or in energy, as I had mentioned before, always. And I always had a sensitivity to it. And sometimes I would experience things or I would see things, and I poo-pooed it my whole life. And then it just got to a point where I felt like I needed to really find out more about it. And I didn't want to be weird. I didn't want it to be dark or negative. I wanted it to be something that was loving and good and more accepted. And I found that Reiki was something that was more accepted by the general public. And so I thought I would start there. I'd never even had a Reiki session with anyone when I first started to take classes. And so I didn't really know what it was about, but I knew that it was something that was accepted and had to do with energy. And when I went there, it was amazing. And I took it in New York City, of course, because
Mm-hmm.
they're just the best, that's all. And
Ah.
so I got that first level, and then I was just so fascinated for more that I just kept going on and on and on. It's really important when you choose a Reiki master to start studying Reiki at any of the levels that you find a Reiki master that studied with people and the lineage of different teachers and trainers as close to the original people that brought it to the United States or in Japan or Hawaii. You want to really study with people that have been connected to them because you are receiving the energy of all of those lineages when you receive the attunement. So that's really important.
Oh my goodness. Well,
And also,
we
I want to add something else that I just thought of that wasn't my plan, but I think it's important. A lot of times people are interested in Reiki and they uh, go and study it on the internet. I would
yeah.
not recommend that. I'm not saying that there's not people on the internet that don't know what they're doing. I'm saying that it really needs to be something, in my opinion, that is experienced in person so that you can touch another person and they can touch you and you can get the attunement in the same environment in the same energetic field as another person. I think that that's really important, and I think the commitment level that it takes to do that, number one, is really important. But you want to be able to touch a person and feel the energies in that way and not just learn it intellectually.
Now, not every practitioner does become a Reiki master. How much more schooling is it for that? And what are the differences between a practitioner, what they can do compared to someone who has more of the education, knowledge, and their masters in a sense in Reiki?
Okay, that's a good question. I think that basically there are five different levels, and usually people study Reiki in short, intense doses. Like they might do level one in a 3 day intensive dose, and there's so much material that you would learn in those 3 days that you can't really get it in 3 days. You learn it, and you have material, and you practice it, but then you should practice hours and hours and hours with other people and on your own between that session and another session for another level before you go on. And so that's really important. The other thing is that most people, like I said, that are practitioners are level one and two. You don't have to have a master, but you have to learn from a master. And at each level, you're going to learn more things like symbols hold a lot of power, and there's certain symbols. Hand positions, there are hand positions, working in the auric field. And usually you'll learn a lot of the basics, but you want to find a Reiki master who also is very skilled in multi dimensions of energy work and body work because they always will impact you and add the expertise they have in different areas with the training of the Reiki information and the hand positions or the energy work. So you want to find someone that's really, really an expert in what they do, just like anything. Some doctors are better than other doctors. You want someone that's really a healer and that really has a broad understanding of a lot of modalities.
Got it. Thank you for that. And also, now, does every Reiki practitioner practice hypnotherapy or no? Two separate
No,
modalities? Explain that.
they're very different. I'm just an energy junkie. I just want to know what's going on and how does it work. And so an energy worker, like a Reiki master or a Reiki practitioner, that's one field. But someone came to me in a counseling session one time. I was working with her mother, and she kept saying that she had a daughter that she had adopted that was a teenager that just really was angry and had all these issues, and she's been to counselors, and she said, what do you think? And I said, well, I don't know her. And she said, would you take her on as a client? And I said,
Yeah.
well, I'll take her, and just maybe she just needs someone to talk to. So I started to take her, and the things that I noticed about her were her anger and her, um, I'm going to say, perspectives didn't seem to make sense to anything that was in this lifetime. And so I said to her mother, I don't know anything about hypnosis, but I think that she could use some hypnosis to maybe get connected with what might be really bothering her or what she might feel, to get connected to that subconscious. And so she said to the daughter, would you like to do that? Lynn suggested it. And she said, yes, only if Lynn is there, because she just felt insecure about the whole newness of it. So I went. And when I went there, I observed the process of it. And while I was there, I kept hearing this voice in my head go, you have to do this, do this, do this, do this, to the point that I had to say, you got to stop. So I got it so that I can focus. And so that's how I got into it, because I experienced on the outside, and it just seemed like it was the next step for me. And so I went and studied with who I thought was the best at the time. Um, I'm a little bit different from other people, probably in that I do a lot of research about things, and I want to really feel an energy connection with that person before I invest in it. So I called a lot of people that were teaching energy work, hypnosis, and past life regression hypnosis. And I talked to the people that were actually doing the trainings, the ones that were like at the top of their business. And I interviewed them sort of without them knowing it. I asked them a whole bunch of questions. And then I got to talk to this one man who was just so grounded and he just seemed like he was a cut above all the other ones. He was very real. He was very knowledgeable. And I said that I was just window shopping for someone to teach it. And he said,
Aw.
um, I'm starting a new class this coming weekend, and I'd love to have you come if you want to. And at that time, it was $3,000. And I was planning on coming like 6 months from now when I had $3,000 to spare. And I said, well, it sounds really interesting, but I have to wait until the summertime because I have to get my $3,000 up to do it. And he said, there's something about you. I want you to come and take it anyway and pay it when you get the money. And I
Wow.
said, well, that's very generous of you. I will have to sleep on it, and I'll get back to you. And he said, and that's exactly why I'm offering this to you, because you're very thoughtful and you have to really sleep on it. So I slept on it. I went. He was phenomenal. He's a member of the International Association of Counselors and Therapists, and he's even won an altruistic award, actually two of them, from his peers. He's an amazing human being. He's not with us any longer, but
Uh,
he's an amazing human being and really taught me a lot. And I stayed with him, and I took many, many classes from him. And then I became also certified in past life regression hypnosis. And I think that it's very important for people that are looking for either a Reiki master or a hypnosis person to teach them, or even a counselor, that you really find someone that you know is gifted,
got it.
because there
Yep.
are a lot of people doing a lot of different works, and it's also very popular to be woo woo. And I really think that just like any field, you really need to find people that are gifted and know what they're talking about. He also connected me and put me with the International Association of Counselors and Therapists, which I highly recommend that you find someone that's in that association, because you have to, of course, there's dues every year, but you have to get a certain number of hours of continuous training in energy work or in the brain work every year in order to keep that certification. So that's really important too.
Perfect. Thank you. And now, do they expire? Is there any like training that has to, what do you call it, like maintenance training, or what's the word I'm looking for?
I would call it maintenance training. You
Yeah,
have
like
to
do
be
you have to
consistent.
go? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to do a certain number of hours every year. And if you
Oh, you
don't,
do.
and yeah, you have to do a certain of it can be anything though, because It doesn't have to be at a college. It can be at another Reiki session that they do Kundalini Reiki, or it can be something that is like you can do channeling if you wanted to go to someone that is a channeler and learn about channeling. You can do any kind of study of energy work or brain work that you want to and get a certificate that you took it, and that would count because it's really about things that are out of the box. It's really not about in the box. It's about out of the box.
Got it. Well, thank you for that. And also, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not called maintenance. It's the training part. Well, you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
okay,
I do.
fine. I'm like, it's not maintenance, but yeah, to keep
But
up.
it really is maintenance, though.
Yeah. At the
I
same
mean, it's
time, I
got the
guess.
word for it, but it's maintenance.
Got it. And do you want to talk more about counseling and hypnotherapy as well, and the differences of those and how that could all benefit someone?
Yes, counseling is really important too, and it's also very popular, which is really great. Um, However, there are a lot of different types of counseling,
Hmm.
and you want to go to someone who, again, you feel really is gifted and not just someone who that you feel that you cannot connect to. If you cannot connect to them, you are not going to be talking to them about the things that really are bothering you. You want to get with someone that can uh, really listen to you and have a wider, broader, more open-hearted perspective of life than somebody that maybe chooses sides or only has a certain kind of narrow perspective. The more open-minded and open-hearted they are, the better, I think. And also, you want to make sure that you get a counselor that's really honest and that doesn't bullshit you and just
Hmm.
says yes to everything. You want someone that really is going to challenge you in the most compassionate way possible, but someone that will really challenge you because that's what you're there for. You're there to change. You're not there to stay the same.
Got it. Perfect. And now, okay, you are obviously licensed as a Reiki master, correct?
There's no license to
Or,
that, but yes, I am. I'm a master. I have a
and then a license, how do I describe you're a licensed hypnotist?
certified.
Certified, thank you. And then what about counseling? Are you?
I have never gone to school for counseling, but I have done it forever, not intentionally. I've been teaching acting classes for 100 years, and then people started to ask me if I would um, meet with them about their problems or whatever, and so I did. And then once I started to do that, I didn't know what to call it, so I would call it art counseling because we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about art, but still, people are people. And then people came to me that were related to them, and then I had people that would stop at my house with a bottle of wine and wanted to just talk to me. And so I had to put it into a formal thing. And that's why I call it a one on one consultation. We can talk about anything. I'm not certified or anything, but I do have a sense about what may be going on with people. And so if people want to work with me, that's great. If they don't, that's great too.
Like a sixth sense, like an empathic sense, are we talking about, Lynn?
I would say yes. But
Awesome.
again, like I said, I like poo-pooed things, but now I'm a little bit more out of the box than I used to be.
Got it. But you are a member. It's the International Association of Counselors and Therapists, right?
Yes, because the hypnosis training that
Yeah.
I had, there are basically two types of hypnosis training. And I would say maybe 15 or so years ago, there was only one type, and that's where you were taught direct suggestion, don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke, once you got into the subconscious mind. But there's another kind that came along. It teaches direct suggestion, and also it teaches a variety of therapeutic techniques inside hypnosis during the subconscious section of it. Like, for example, you can guide the person into their subconscious and then ask to talk to their intellectual self or ask to talk to their emotional self or their spiritual self or their physical self. And they will have a conversation and let you know exactly where that part of their self themselves are. There's also reframing. For example, if someone has had a traumatic experience and seems to keep reliving it and can't quite get past it, you can go in a regression and visit the scene. And if it's too hard for them to be there, they can witness it like it's a movie, or you can take them back into the history where, let's say, someone treated them badly. You can give that basket of pain back to the person that caused it. And so there are a lot of different therapies that you can use inside it. The kind I learned is the kind that has the therapies inside the hypnosis process. And that's why I'm in the International Association of Counselors and Therapists.
Got
Because
it.
I am one, but I'm not a normal one.
You're not a normal one.
No.
Oh gosh. And are you doing this full time? Is this, tell me just a little bit about that. Are you actually busy? I could imagine. So this is also a virtual business, right? So you're able to
Yes.
be on time, online all the time. Do you ever take a break? And then I want to
Well,
talk about your self-hypnosis series too. We also got to always talk
yes,
about
I
that.
do this part-time actually because it's so intense.
Yeah.
I also, as I had mentioned before, I'm a performer and I direct and I teach. And so I do performing arts when I'm not doing this. So I do this one day a week and I do performing arts all the other days a week. Um, but they're very, as you know, they're very connected with each other. It's all about energy, really. And so I do have a lot of clients and I do group sessions. I wrote and recorded a series of 7 self-hypnosis CDs and digital. You can get them on digital through Keuka Energy Arts. That's Keuka Energy Arts. And the series is called Winter's Self-Hypnosis Series. And they are really effective and they're more cost effective than having a private session. Like if you want to learn to quit smoking or you want to get your addiction, you want to get more support for your addiction. They're really, really wonderful. And you can use them in the privacy of your own home around your own life. So they're very life friendly. And so I really love them. I think that they're great. They have 2 tracks. One of them has the dialogue that I wrote and recorded with some back music because I'm also a singer, a musician. Sound is really interesting to me, and I know a lot about sound. And so I use different sounds in the back music. My two of my oldest, dearest friends are Broadway composers now. They weren't when I met them when we were kids, but they did the back music, and we put in different pitches and different instruments or different timbres. Like sometimes there's nature sounds, and each one of those sounds in the background in the back music has been specifically selected. There are 3 different ones selected for each condition. So the back musics are different with different sound therapies in them. And then the second track is just the back music. So if you have listened to the stress release, for example, a lot of times, and you're going to make a Thanksgiving dinner and you're all stressed out and you don't have time to put that on, you can just put the back music on. And without the trance, it can have the same impact on you that you programmed yourself to have to ground yourself. So they're
Got it.
great.
Got it. Well, thank you. And also for the winter self-hypnosis, they just focus on different areas of, do you want to just elaborate? I know it's digital CDs or there's different ones for different, like insomnia. Could you just share a little bit about that?
Yeah. There is stress release, which of course is the most popular because everyone's stressed out, and hopefully not after they listen to the CD. And there's also cigarette control. And that really is not about, none of these are about shaming. It's not about making you feel badly because you're smoking. It's more about you deciding to control your smoking, whether you want to just lessen it or whether you want to completely quit. There's also pain management. The reason I created pain management is because so many people are addicted to pain medication and they peak out on it. Your body cannot process more than a certain amount of it and over a certain length of time. And so this gives you a way that you can have some control over your own self-care and healing, whether you decide to get rid of the medication or whether you decide to supplement it or whether you decide to use the hypnosis first. It really, really works. It's just more options other than just medication. And
Mm-hmm.
there's also body balancing. Now, a long time ago, somebody asked me if I would create a weight loss CD. I don't really think that that's a good objective. I think health is the good objective. And there are lots of people that are larger than other people that are very healthy. And so I didn't want people to feel like they had to have a certain look to have that be the measurement of their health. And so I created body balancing. And what I find most often is that people's inner relationship with their body seems to be more damaging than anything else. And so this really takes you through all your body parts and allows you to fall in love with them again and really appreciate them and see your whole body as a miracle. And so it's very perspective shifting. And I think that's healthier than just losing weight.
Got it. All right. And how did you kind of want to sum up today? We got 3 more minutes left.
Okay. I just want people to take a chance to try something different.
Yeah.
Anything different. I think it's very important to explore, and you'll know if something resonates with you and if it works for you. And give it a good shot. Try not to talk yourself into anything or out of anything, but keep experimenting until you find something that can benefit you and bring you to a happier, more peaceful, loving place. It's all out there. And I just wanted to present a lot of options and give you some background and maybe what to look for today so that you can be encouraged to pick up the phone, the old-fashioned way.
Got it. And thank you so much for that. And again, spelled KEUKAENERGYARTS.com. You have a fantastic day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You
Looking
too.
forward to next time, sweetheart. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay cool. Bye.
You too.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.